I'm Thiadrik Toldersma Oldersma, a esports caster from the Benelux, and I am one of the full-time guys around in the scene.
What would happen then? I have no clue who would fill those shoes.
Chip had namelijk al eerder toegezegd dat hij met zijn vrienden bij de party... Hij is niet echt de grootste klutser. Wat gaat hij hier dan doen? Pieuw! Eén schot daarom mooi, die mooie one-tap. Je hoort het ook aan de pieuw, 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 pieuw.
Ja, toen hij jong was, was hij eigenlijk al vrij rustig, maar al wel ontzettend geïnteresseerd in games. Dus dat is eigenlijk al vanaf sinds hij kind is dat erin geslopen. En meestal gingen we dan naar mij thuis om snel te gamen, want bij jou thuis was het een beetje lastig.
Ja, ik denk dat ouders heel snel vinden dat kinderen te veel spelletjes spelen achter de computer. En dat was hier niet anders.
Nee, Thiadrik mocht niet gewelddadige spelletjes bij hem thuis spelen. Dus het contrast daarmee met hoe het nu is, dat is wel mooi om te zien.
Ja, dan denk je wel van, goh, wat is dit nu? Waar is hij nu mee bezig?
Did my family play games? Not at all. I was really the only one to really play games. I think my sister did play My Little Pony on the computer when she was young as well. I have to admit, I also maybe played it a little bit. I was young back then, please don't judge. But not really a big gamer, no.
So you could say My Little Pony is the start of your casting career?
My Little Pony is really the start of my casting career.
Nou, we hebben al sinds hij jong was, werd al gezegd dat hij een vrij stem heeft voor de radio, zeg maar.
Eventually, when I started to come into the competitive gaming scene, people said, well, you have a great voice. Maybe we could do like some cast for Hearthstone, which was an in-house tournament for MCon Esports back then. Why don't we do that? And that worked out, and eventually I went over to cast Counter-Strike as well. How did I come into contact with Counter-Strike? When I was 17 or 18 years old, a friend of mine with whom I've played games almost all my life came up to me and said, this is a game you have to try, you have to buy it. And I wasn't really certain because at that time the money that I had to spend for it was quite a bit.
De game was toen volgens mij €5. En toen zei ik tegen hem van, joh, ik wil samen gewoon spelen, dus ik haal het gewoon voor je. Ja, en om dan te zien dat ik een beetje blijven steken op 600 uur, maar een beetje gewoon mijn hobby ervan. En Thiadrik heeft er echt zijn werk van gemaakt. Nou, dat is echt, had ik nooit verwacht. Dat is echt heel mooi om te zien.
Het is eigenlijk dankzij u dus.
Ja, eigenlijk ergens een beetje wel, ja.
Were there people that didn't believe in me? There were some people, of course. My parents didn't understand it could be a profession later on. But ever since the money came in, they did start to believe and support me even more. Also, my teachers in school always said, like, this isn't a job. You can't make money out of it. It is something that's very weird, and I don't really see that happen for you. So here I am. Well, the first 2 or 3 years I did it, there was little to no money. It cost more than it ever brought in at that time. First time I actually noticed I could make money with casting was when I got a gig for ESL Benelux. It was, I believe, their 2nd or 3rd season where they asked me to sub in for a night. I got a grand total of €25 for 1 day of casting from home. And back then that was huge, but if I now look at it, I'm like, I don't know if I could tell my girlfriend I'm working for €25 today.
Hoe ik het vond om hem voor het eerst te horen, dat vond ik ontzettend apart. Ik had echt niet verwacht dat zo zou kunnen, zeg maar. Via Twitch was dat toen volgens mij. En ik weet niet meer wat je toen castte. Volgens mij was dat het eerste Counter-Strike toernooi. Maar ik weet nog wel dat je tegen mij zei van dat je dit was gaan doen. En dan zat je nog op slaapkamer bij je ouders. En dan waren je ouders op bed. En dan moest je wat stiller gaan casten. Nou, dat vond ik echt hilarisch om te zien.
What are some bad things that happened during casting? Well, some mishaps were, for instance, when I casted in Katowice, I had a bloody nose, which eventually started to stream down my face. So I had to just turn my face left the whole 15 minutes I was on cam. Production didn't notice I had a bloody nose, so that was rather unfortunate. So only when the game started, 15 minutes after it started, they came in with a towel and said I could clean my face. Luckily I had a co-caster which wasn't afraid of blood, otherwise it would have gone very south. A moment I'll never forget was being asked to cast in Katowice for the EU minor qualifier. I've always wanted to go to either Katowice or a big ESL studio or event to cast something big. And that was a moment where everything just came together and I was able to have my first international gig and probably one of the best memories ever.
Toen we daar in de arena waren en hij daar op het middenveld staat commentaar te geven bij een wedstrijd, dat is toch wel heel bijzonder.
Everyone's friendly, of course there is some competition, but everyone I work with is always very passionate, so I never see anyone being bummed that they have to work. Everyone just always comes with a smile, maybe some bags under their eyes because it's been the third day of very long work hours. So it's just probably one of the best places to work. If you want to become a caster, the big thing you have to do is either throw yourself out there, like stream games on Twitch and cast, for instance, ESEA matches for Counter-Strike. Also just look at your own cast and see what you can do. Don't be scared of taking any advice or feedback, because people will, especially in Twitch chat, will be very mean to you because they have no filter and they don't have to. And there's always a sense of truth in what they say. Very rarely it's jealousy. It's always something that they notice and they don't like. And you can't please them all, but there's always something to work on. Can anyone work in esports? I think you can. I've had to work numerous years to get there because the scene was very young. But if you just put in the hours, if you put in the grind and even specialize yourself in what you really like to do, with your passion and effort, you can actually get there.
Als ik hem een advies zou moeten geven, dan zou ik zeggen van blijf doen waar je hart naar uitgaat en waar je plezier aan beleeft.
Je bent nu al zo ver op dit punt gekomen door je eigen hart te volgen. En ik zou zeggen, ga er gewoon mee door en dan kom je er wel, zeker in de business waar je nu in zit.
What is the thing I still want to achieve? It's probably casting some big event on stage, at least one main stage game. For instance, on a DreamHack or an ESL, maybe DreamHack Rotterdam. Is casting a dream come true as a profession? I think it is. It is really what I want to do, and I don't know for how long I can do it, but I hope for a good amount of years to come.